How is everyone doing today? Welcome to stoc Trades. I am a bit confused regarding my time that I set this up. So my apologies. I think I set this up for tomorrow, but we're doing it today. In this video, we're going to be calculating the intrinsic value of Palantir. Yes, PLTR. And I had to essentially do a video or a clip of Master Chief and Cortana, and I was determining who should be Master Chief, but I think it was appropriate because of Alex Karp's long hair that he might possibly be Cortana, right? So this was a little joke to all the nerds, but all in all, let's go ahead, add to the stream, grab a beverage, let's sit back. I was just going to film this video without any live streams, but I just like to make it interactive. So we'll stop if there's any questions, but let's just get straight to it. So I want to first off and just really quickly talk about Palantir here, okay? In terms of its financial analysis. If you look at Palantir short-term assets and short-term liabilities, you can see that they have enough cash to weather any storm they choose. In fact, Alex Karp in his last earnings report said that Palantir is built for essentially bad times, right? And, with everything that's been going on in the world, we got the Russia-Ukraine situation, China and Taiwan, inflation, with North Korea, God knows what's going to happen with them, Iran with their nuclear program. All in all, the world seems to unfortunately get into a point where problems are arising and, luckily, Palantir has positioned itself for the past 20 years in its Gotham program to be able to tackle these. So for people and my subscribers that don't understand what Palantir is kind of the data analytics meets the normal worker that elevates the intelligence of the normal worker. So I'll explain that better. So you essentially, in Palantir, you have two forms. You have the Gotham and you have the Foundry. Gotham is used more for the CIA, for different types of operations that are more in the governmental sphere, right? In fact, if you read the book 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, who's the co-founder of Palantir, you can see that he coined this as his second best company or second best investment. That first being Facebook, I believe, which netted him $1 billion. Okay, so to give you some background, he coins the fact that it was possibly that that they may have caught Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden. So essentially, people that probably already watching this from the outside audience, you guys are well informed about that. But just for my subscribers that may not, in terms of Palantir short-term assets, they can easily pay off their short-term liabilities as well as the short-term assets paying off their long-term liabilities. We don't compare long-term assets with long-term liabilities because if you see a company selling off their long-term assets, it's not a good sign. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be utilizing our artificial intelligence technology. Some of you may have not seen this for new people that are coming into this channel. What this basically does is it's an AI and it projects a Monte Carlo type projection model, which basically goes 30 days and creates a bunch of what if scenarios. And it basically tells you at what average could we see the Palantir stock. And essentially the green is the bull case, the base case, and I have to explain the red, bear case. And you can tell out of the 30-day projection, the price could hover anywhere between the $13 region here all the way down to, the $11.50, $11.60 region. So that we do different types of analysis, and if we have a confluence of data sets, then we can go ahead and add on to our investment thesis. This will give you the revenue estimates of what Palantir is expected to do. This is 1 to the 8th power. Again, 1 to the 9th is in billions. So as you can see here, this goes from 2022 all the way up to 2024. And you can tell here, Palantir is going to be growing consistently, right? In fact, Alex Karp talked about how they're going to be hovering about plus, not minus, 30% above. In fact, I think it was 35%, right? So they're doing pretty good. In terms of technical analysis, for people that like to day trade this, again, we like to service everyone here at stoc Trades. This particular, what's happening essentially with Palantir, we got, in terms of the TA results, we have 100. It's above the 100 MA, 220 and 50. We have the engulfing candle monthly high and a pocket pivot, which is technically bullish. But however, we are overbought. We are in a strong downtrend, and there a lot of stocks right now this week are in the verge of either a breakout or a breakdown, right? And we're starting to see a lot of retail investors come back and essentially be like, hey, let's go ahead and speculate and gamble our life savings away, such as BBIG or Mulan. And, that's a telltale sign saying that market's starting to become bullish. But again, that's when you get really hopium and a lot of just crazy investors. Just don't get stuck holding the bag. Make sure you're equipped with some technology to be able to help you. So let's go ahead and let's look at any unusual flow in terms of options for those option traders. We got one expiring April 1st. Premium, not that impressive with the $14.50 strike price. It's a call, of course. So, okay, that's good to know. Let's go ahead and take a look if there's any big flows available. So as you can see here, the expiry date here is on August 19 and also January 20 of 2023. And these premiums here are pretty high, so just focus on these two. The rest are okay. We got a $14 strike, 15 strike with both puts. So sentiment, I guess, future outlook, I guess, could be, you can consider it bearish. But again, take these as just data sets and let them add them to your investment thesis. So in terms of institutional ownership for Palantir, we're looking at a 685 million shares of institutional ownership, with ownership increasing in the past 6 months at 1.84%. And again, if you want access to all this information and research any stock ticker you want, it's in our Patreon link, which will port you to our Discord channel. We've also coded our own brain machine, which allows you to essentially look up any stock you want directly from the Discord. We're working with prominent software engineers, and we're giving you guys the best possible bang for your buck. Now, we can also search the Twitter sentiment just to see, in terms of sentimental analysis, where Palantir is on the mark here. And this updates every 30 minutes. And I don't really see Palantir in terms of 30 minutes right now, but just look out. Mulan is definitely up here. So expect, crazy people to jump in on that one and just take it to however they want to take it until it gets share diluted. We do see on Palantir, in terms of Wall Street bets, we do see Palantir mentioned up here. So that's something interesting that we should probably take a look at. Also Clove as well. Take a look at that. Right. Now, in terms of support and resistance levels, let's go ahead and take a look at the TA, right? Let's do some TA on Palantir. What this does is it's going to graph you the support and resistance, and we're going to go ahead and get down and dirty. So let's just look up the current share price, and then we're going to do an intrinsic value calculation on the stock, so you'll essentially know what it's worth. So right now it's trading at $12.82. I just want to know where this is on this point. So it's literally trading at our support line. If it breaks and it unfortunately rejects the $12.82 support line, the next support line will be this will become a new resistance. The next support line will be $12.23. We're going to be looking at that. And if it rejects that, guess what? That's $11.78, 11, and 10.53. So keep in mind of this, because a lot of traders, they take advantage of these, and you have it here. But then here's the thing: what happens above this? You might be asking yourself, well, hey Al, what's over the 1282? Well, in order to answer that question, we need to go ahead and take a look at the hour chart, right? The hour chart's going to give us a little bit more information. And as you can see, as promised, we got 1282 was the roof. Now we're looking at 1293. And as soon as we pass that, well, look at that. It's going to be $16, right? So you can see there could be a massive movement, a massive breakout that could happen with Palantir. But yet again, just remember, day traders can take this up. They can also bring it down, right? Remember that. This is a long-term investment, and I'm going to explain to you guys the intrinsic value calculation. So, of course, if it passes 16, it'll be 18, 22, 21. But in order to see what is above that, we got to go ahead and take a look at the day chart. And again, you got access to any ticker you want. So as you can see here, 1313 should be another one right there. If it rejects that, we'll see if the other ones that we looked at the minute and hour chart. After that, it looks like once it passes particular numbers around the 13 here, 13 plus, $16.50 will be the next level of resistance. And as you can see, you can see the magic here. And we know these numbers here. These numbers are very familiar for people that have been invested long-term in Palantir. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly has a lot of information. This basically goes back to when the stock price actually went up higher than this, went up to, I think, in the $45 region. But as you can see here, if you would have had this technology, you would have been able to play these bounces and really, really take advantage of these support and resistance lines here. But as you can see here, and these are future forward predictive support lines. These are not like past predictive, right? This tells you where the support line is for the future, which basically helps you make money, right? So as you can see here, the support line, the resistance line here is 1894. So that could be a level of stop, just like what we saw in the hour and day chart. This is the week chart. So take advantage of this, understand this information, and yeah. So now let's go ahead and let's take a look at dark pool data. Yes, you heard me right. We have access to dark pool as well. Again, this is an encyclopedia we have here. So let me just go ahead and put PLTR correctly. And let's see if there's any dark pool data. Yes, we do. So as you can see right now, dark pool data has been coming in hot and heavy and ready to fire at $12.71. So dark pool has been stepping in, and yeah, they've been given a run for the money. But let's go a little deeper right now. I want to see if there's any completed block trades. We've been having some difficult times completing some matched block trades. So this is that bid here above ask. So we can see some block trades happening above ask. Again, this is dark pool data. This is data that essentially doesn't move the stock price up. This is a very expensive piece of equipment that we have, but we like to provide it to our members. And we're going to continue providing you guys the best resources ever, because this is what we do here. And again, we only want people that are willing to commit. This is like a gym membership. You can, I just recently got off of our All Stock Alerts Pro members, and it's interesting, it is true. This is a gym membership. You can go ahead and get our equipment, get our resources, but at the end of the day, if you're not going to use it, you're only good as much as you use the machines, and this is no different. So if you look at here, we got no matched here, but we can see there's a lot of amount, $291 million, right? 22.8 million shares. A lot of money's trying to step in now with this dark pool, not trying to raise the price up, but they're not being matched because I guess we've gone into a rally. Now, depending how long that rally is, well, hey, that depends on what the market situation, macroeconomics, and a whole slew of data. All right, so now that we have access, we went through this, let's go ahead and let's look at the call to put ratio and the buy and sell, right? We have access to this one as well. So as you can see, of course, I wouldn't doubt it at all. The calls are obviously in green, are higher than the puts, and also, buy and sells are half and half, but you can see the sentiment is positive. Now, in terms of algo flow, and again, this is flow algo data is very expensive. What this does is basically aggregates the list of all the option chains and pretty much gives it to you in a meaningful way for you to make an educated decision. Now, if you look at the algo flow for this, interestingly, we do see the stock price go up and also the algo score go up as well, also passing the 0 mark, which is indicative of a bullish convergence, which means that, option traders are starting to become bullish on the stock. Now, I always like to look at the day chart as well because I put 5 here. In terms of the day, we can go ahead and look, and there it is. So on the day, it looks like it's pretty freaking bullish. So this is all good news, and the confluence of data sets suggests that, hey, you know what? Palantir is looking like a pretty good trade and investment. Now, hold on. Let's see what our artificial intelligence analysis takes in. And so in terms of intraday, we're looking at, bearish, but options, AI, swing combined, we're looking pretty bullish. So now that we went through this, and if you like this technology, here is the link right here. There'll be a link down below, and here it is on the chat too for people that are interested. I'm going to go ahead and pin it. All right, so now we went through this. Now let's go to our intrinsic value calculation. This is part of our Mastering Stock Market course. What it does is essentially it is a proprietary piece of beauty that we created here at All Stock Trades. Let me go ahead and reload it here. And essentially what it does is it goes 10 years into the future, discounts back at a 10-15% discount rate divided by the number of outstanding shares, most definitely using a perpetuity model of 2%. And this gives you a stock price, a bull, a base, and a bear case, right? So just so you understand the levels of where things can go, right? So we're going to go ahead and do this. But before that, we got to walk you through. So right now, here, let me show you here. So this is Palantir Technologies, okay? These are the data. Obviously, we don't have a lot of data for Palantir because they just recently became public, and I believe it was 2020 or something, but they filed a couple of their S1s, I believe, for these data here, these data sets here, which is why we have the data. So data. I use that word a lot. My God. Okay, so if you look at the revenue here, the revenue has been growing pretty consistently. we're going to go ahead and put it in our estimated growth rate here. Normally, we would put net income, but again, this company is net income negative. However, if you look at the free cash flow just turned positive. Now, do I have to remind you? Of course I do. What kind of teacher would I be? If you go ahead and take a look at Tesla, what's interesting here, if you look at Tesla's analysis here, Tesla became free cash flow positive back in 2019 and then became net income positive back in 2020. If you would have looked at that and actually see this negative 4,000, negative 4 billion cash flow to negative 222 million, that was the first green flag that, hey, things are changing, especially when you see the freaking revenue from 2017 to 2018 literally almost actually double. So that right there shows you. But if you look at 2019 when it became free cash flow positive, if you look at the stock price, guys, look at 2019, nobody. It was crickets. And all of a sudden it started ascending to its intrinsic value. So let's go ahead and let's graph this intrinsic value, and we're going to take these numbers and we're going to use this as the free cash flow estimate, because they're able, and I'm pretty impressed, they're able to take a lot of that cash and be able to put it in, because again, this is a SaaS company. All right. Then we're going to look at their shares, and I don't like this. The actual company, I think it's 2003, I think they have about 2 billion shares. So we're going to just use the higher number again, just to be conservative. So let's go ahead and let's get to work, right? So 2018, they got 595. Again, these numbers are in millions, okay? So I wish they were in billions, hey? So this is 2021, and here we have 1542. So this is growing at a 37%, which is exactly right around what Alex Karp was predicting, or Cortana, if you saw the thumbnail. All right. So now if you look at the free cash flow, we said we're going to be using their number of 321. So we just have 321 here. And then now we can see our calculator going 10 years into the future, discounting back at a 10% discount rate, and also the 15 and 12.5, and then divided by the number of outstanding shares, which we found out to be 2003. And I'm doing this really quickly because I don't want to, stall for people that are going to be coming in here in the future. I don't want to waste your time. Just want to give it to you, get you the information so you can get in and get out. So by doing this, here are the price targets for Palantir. So the bear case is $12.27. The bull case is $25.45, and the base case is $17.10. All right. So as you can see right now, we did not even look at the stock price. We did nothing with the stock price. All we did is we just look at the fundamentals, and from that we were able to ascend to the stock price. Okay. So that's the beauty of fundamental analysis, okay? But the beautiful part about this is you're able to take fundamental analysis, technical analysis, artificial intelligence analysis, and sentimental analysis, and you take all of these different types of analyses, and together, if you have a confluence of data sets, it helps support your thesis and the higher probability that you might become successful within the market, versus someone who basically goes on Facebook or Reddit and just basically takes a look at different pieces of investment theses and think that this is correct without fact checking and actually doing their own due diligence for themselves. Remember, this is your money. This is your hard-earned work money. This is your family's money, right? So make sure you question everything we say, everything we do. And so if you like this content, please consider subscribing, liking, hitting the notification bell. If you want access to our intrinsic value calculator, as well as a beta access to all the courses that are going to be uploaded, there'll be a link down below as well to our Mastering Stock Market course, or you can go to alstocktrades.com and you can go ahead and take a look at our packages. If you want access to our artificial intelligence, that is going to be in our Patreon for under $10 a month. Yes, you heard that right, under $10. And to get access to that, very simply, you just go here to Patreon. Click on this bad boy here, and then there it is. If you want your own room, your own channel to where you can type in anything you want, it's in a one-on-one meeting with a Zoom call. Here's the pro. We have a limit cap on this one, but this is open for everyone. This is where everything you basically saw me do, and then some. We got so much here with all of our price targets and everything. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any questions. As always, it was a privilege and honor. God bless you. And I'm going to wait here a couple seconds to see if there's any questions. Let me just put this up here so people can see the price. All right. Without further ado, it was a privilege and honor. God bless you. Please stay safe, and I will see you on the next one.